This month has not been a good time for rhinos. At least 7 were poached in the Kruger National Park, one of the hardest hit areas by poaching, and a further 4 were killed in the Eastern Cape. Now, these incidents continue to highlight the plight of rhino poaching. Earlier this week, we were joined by 50/50 presenter and filmmaker Bonné de Bod, who told us about the orphan rescue operations she discovered while filming for her rhino poaching documentary STROOP.
It was a very dark time for our rhinos over Easter, but luckily a little orphan was saved. Now, as sad as it is, we have been waiting for 18 months to film an orphan rescue in Kruger. Now, specifically Kruger, as it is the hardest hit in terms of numbers, and I've spent a lot of time with the vets there over the 2 years we've been making this documentary STROOP, and I just really admire their approach in saving and rescuing many rhinos we never get to hear about. Now, it's of course not something you can plan for or set up for, despite myself and my film director looking at the peak poaching months and then staying in the park for weeks at a time over these periods to try and capture this very important scene on camera. But we just haven't been able to do so until now. This time, we were right there when the call came in from tourists in the southern part of Kruger who had seen a poached rhino carcass right next to the road, and sadly a little calf standing next to her mother. Just awful. For me personally, probably the most heartbreaking scene in this poaching war. Now, you must understand what goes on in a scene like this.
Yeah, tell us about the operations.
Yes, this little calf, her mother was poached in the night, and these calves are normally dehydrated. It's Kruger, they have to fend off predators. We've seen incidents where calves have had their ears eaten off by hyenas. Last week, a little baby in Kruger didn't make it due to severe injuries from predators. So it's awful to imagine. And just to give you and the viewers some idea of the trauma these little guys go through, I brought along an audio clip of a little white rhino calf standing next to his mother. Obviously, he doesn't know that the vets are helping his mother, trying to save his mother. Very traumatic, and we can listen to the sound. Let's have a listen.
Okay. Where does the calf go after the rescue?
Okay, so after the calf has been located and rescued, then the calf will be taken to a secure location inside Kruger. They are kept in large boma facilities. But now remember, rhinos are very sociable animals, so they bond with each other. And the SABC's team have had great success by using an older female, a teenager, as a surrogate mother to these little guys, for them to settle in and really help them get through this very traumatic experience they've been through. If the rescued calf needs specialized care and treatment, it will be sent to an orphanage. We actually accompanied a little orphan that had severe panga wounds on his lower back to this orphanage. When we got there, the vet attended to the wounds, treated it, cleaned it, and they gave him his first bottle, which he really enjoyed. And yesterday I spoke to the head vet at SABC's, Dr. Marcus Hofmeyer, and according to him, both of these calves are doing really well.
Now, there's some of the pictures of the calf there, but how long did they stay at this rehab center, and when they are released back into the wild, how quickly do they adapt?
It all depends. The fact of the matter is they are taken out of where they really belong, and that is the wild in Kruger. So what they'll do is either they will keep it at the boma and see how the orphan does, and then hopefully release it back into the wild. That is the aim, the end goal. But as I said, these guys are doing an amazing job saving and rescuing these calves, because as the rhino numbers drop, the conservation value of each calf is critical. We need to save as many as we can.
Now, in the beginning of our conversation, you indicated that you've been shooting STROOP for quite a while now. Are we almost there yet?
We are almost there. We are almost there. We are in edit at the moment. We still have some things we need to tie up here and there, but it's really exciting because now we're putting the puzzle together. And we are hoping that it will be done and released in spring, so later this year.